I believe strongly that these 66 books, even if they had ulterior motives, because God can use man's madness to achieve his will. I believe God used it to put this together, because this is actually the perfect 66 as far as I'm concerned.
Since God created the earth in 7 days and he's God, why did he need to rest on the 7th day? Because God, by all understanding, doesn't need rest.
That rest is not the rest of you went to bank work morning, came back, they have insulted you, you have insulted them, you have shouted, this is how we do in our bank, if you don't like it, close your account, get out, and when you come back, you are exhausted. That is different. This one is that every special edition of the SOS always comes with something new, something fresh, something remarkable, something sublime, and this is not any different. And we believe strongly that as you join this broadcast, you will be able to participate even though you were not part of the people in the studio, because it's very interactive. It's going to bring you answers to questions you don't even have an idea is bothering your heart. So I want to take you to the studio where you'll join the people that joined us at the studio to present this edition of SOS Special to you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, sir, for that clarity. And then the second one is, so I'll just leave it there. We'll go further. About the canonization of scriptures.
Okay.
Yes, and then going down to Titus 1:14, you still see that scriptures are referring us to the prophecy of Enoch. So I really want to ask, why did the Romans and the Catholic had to sit down to, and whereas still in our canonized Bible, we have other examples that are not really for us to follow after. So why is it necessary? So my question is
that in Titus, what chapter?
1:14. Is it Jude 1:14?
Not giving heed to Jewish fables.
No, Jude 1:14.
Jude.
Yeah, I think it should be Jude 1:14.
Okay. No, go on with your question.
Sir.
I just want to
my concern there is it that there is something that they want to hide, or is it for our own good, the canonization and taking away of those other written materials? So that's just the question.
Okay. Jude 1:14 says, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied. That is foretold events, to speak divinely. Even though there's a book of Enoch, but I don't think it was the one he was referring to. But there was another place where Paul said, like our Lord Jesus said, that it's more blessed to give than to receive. You won't find that anywhere in the scriptures. So I understand. The 66 books that were put together had criteria to fulfill by the people that came together to canonize it. And just like they followed the pattern of when they wanted to replace Judas, there was a criteria for whoever would replace Judas. Okay. He said he must have been with us when we're going in and coming out. He must have known Jesus and all that. Yes, so such person can be a replacement for Judas. I believe strongly that these 66 books, even if they had ulterior motives, because God can use man's madness to achieve his will. I believe God used it to put this together, because this is actually the perfect 66 as far as I'm concerned. And I'm saying that I've read the Bible for a small number of years, maybe for like 27 years now. Very little experience. And I know people that have read more than me will say the same thing. And I'll tell you how God is very plain and why it is his hand. If it was man's arrangement, all these places that they referenced those books, like those two places, they will have cut it out. You understand? To avoid any controversy. But if they didn't fulfill the conditions needed, then there was no point putting it. I've read the Catholics, I've read the Apocrypha books, Maccabees, Ecclesiasticus, actually like Ecclesiasticus though, and all those. I read it. They have their merits, but when you compare it critically to the ones that we have, you realize that it was God's hand to cut it. So what I'm going to say is, We may never know the reason. When we get to heaven, we'll find out. I can't tell you I know the total reason, as it were, because I know I heard this OAP also speaking about King James is not the oldest Bible. There is the Ethiopian Bible that is the oldest, Latin Vulgate and all that. The person that sent to me, I said these are things that even if it's not the oldest Bible, just like he's saying that it was not Faraday that first of all worked on this experiment. Nobody worked on an experiment first. It's continuity. So, which is for which is not first. I have the Bible. I'm going to stay with that. Any other thing doesn't make sense to me at the end of the day. So far, so good, has worked. So I won't change what is working for what is not working. But I believe strongly God motivated them to put this together. But you are right. There are books that they quoted but didn't make it into this list. And I've added to the one you showed us as well. So that's my take on that.
Thanks, sir.
Go on.
All right. So my name is Emmanuel once again.
All right.
My question goes like this. It was asked by a Muslim to one of my friend, kind of. So he said, since God created the earth in 7 days and he's God, why did he need to rest on the 7th day? Because God, by all understanding, doesn't need rest.
Okay.
So that is the question he asked.
Let the Bible answer the Bible. That's Genesis 1.
No, 2, 1 to 3.
Genesis 2. And the heavens were made, heaven and the 7th day ended, and all that. Verse 2 says, and he rested. Shabbat. Which simply means he stopped working because what he was doing was finished. The same thing is what happened to Jesus when he died. When he said, I have finished, or it is finished, he was saying the same thing his father said, Shabbat. And he came back to promise us as well in Hebrews chapter 4 that you and I must also labor to enter into that rest. So that rest is not the rest of you went to bank work morning, came back, they have insulted you, you have insulted them, you have shouted, this is how we do in our bank, if you don't like it, close your account, get out, and when you come back, you are exhausted. That is different. This one is that God stopped exerting himself. He's not exhausted. He just said, there is nothing else for me to do. Let me. And how you know that is because Jesus later told us that my Father is working till now and I am working. So it's not the rest that the person is interpreting like God. And say, people must try. I'll try. Creating this world in 7 days. Say, I beg, Michael, bring my tea. My chamomile tea, let me relax. Gabriel, where's my duvet? Where's that other one? They say, that's Lucifer, sir. He has gone since. So who sings around there? The 24 elders. Say, okay, call them, let them bring the harp and all. Let them be singing, I need to relax. Say, then find some of these lesser angels, let them come and crack my toes. Then they cover him up. That's what the person is thinking. Yeah. Say, no, that's not what happened. He just Shabbat himself. He just stopped exerting. It's another he was saying, I have bought everything on this list. I've stopped spending. It doesn't mean I'm tired. I need to rest. Actually, I don't get tired from shopping. It's money that tells me you should stop. Because if you put 1 million, 1 billion, if you allow me, I can shop with it in 1 day. It's a grace. It's not everybody that has the grace. Because somebody once asked me when I said 1 billion. You want to do 1 billion? And I opened my book. He said, you are not right, oh. I said, you thought I was making mad? I said, even the cars I will shop, they are waiting. So when I finish, you will ask me, is this normal? And I said, I tell you, everything should be normal. I will shop houses, I will shop this thing. You know, this one you are saying, you are buying car of 36 million. Maybe a Toyota, when you get to them, Bentley and Lamborghini, you are looking at 300 million. Out of 1 billion, if you buy 2 Lamborghini, what's remaining? And you buy 1 Lamborghini, 1 Bentley. I'm not even sure you can buy a jet successfully from 1 billion. I have to go and check. As I did 1 billion, I can buy a bit. No, I said 1 billion. It's 1 billion. No, you can find a bit. Naira, 1 billion naira.
The list is $20 million.
You see what I'm saying?
Exchange rates.
No need to convert it. It talks about 30 uncountable. So you see what I'm saying? So if you have 1 billion, and someone says you can shop with it in one day and you're upset, you can't even buy a jet. That's the same thing those Israelites did to God. He says he's giving us manna. He says and they tempted me further. He has given us manna. Can he serve barbecue fish? And God says, after all I've done for you people, I'll give you barbecue fish now. In fact, it will blow in. But as you chop it, I'll be killing you with it. Ultimately, God answered their prayers, but the answer to the prayer killed them. So it's not every answer that God gives you that means that God is still pleased. He just gave you the desires of it. May God not leave you to himself. Yeah. So that's that. God is not tired.